can live too. Like,
yeah.
I've got strength behind me. Like, doesn't mean to say we can't do it, but it's subtle.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It is sort of little things, isn't it? And I remember one occasion, no names being mentioned here, but I was in my workplace and there was a video on Facebook, and this person was looking at this video, and it was of a boxer in America and a young woman interviewing him. And at the end of the interview, like, he forcibly grabs her and kisses her. And this person in my workplace was
I saw that video. Yeah.
And she looks really uncomfortable. She laughs it off just for the camera. But after that incident, she tweeted and like said how uncomfortable it made her feel. But the person in my workplace at the time was like, I don't see what's wrong with that. Look how close she was standing to him. Look at her lipstick. Look at her body language around if she wanted it. And in my professional workplace, I had to bite my tongue because I knew. Which I kind of hate that I did that. I wish I kind of said, like, no, actually, it's really wrong.
But then maybe the workplace you were in created that atmosphere or that kind of environment where it shouldn't have, but you felt like you couldn't speak up.
Yeah.
And is that, again, something where we haven't progressed?
Yeah, because that's another form of oppression, isn't it? If you don't feel like...
Hello. And welcome to another episode of Lizzie 1-to-1 with these two amazing females. That's Chandel and Caitlin. So introduce yourselves for those who don't know who you are. A little bit about yourself.
Okay. Hi, I'm Chandel. What do I say? What I do? Or
I mean, you know what? I feel like I'm at some work thing asking you to do this, but just be whatever you want to say. It's up to you.
Okay. I'm Chandel. I'm a youth worker. Been doing youth work in Wolverhampton for 8 years.
Wow.
Yeah, across Wolverhampton.
You're getting on now. Come on.
I don't know. When I say 8 years, I remember
That's
when it was
long,
like 2 years. And
you're
now
not
it's
exactly
like,
old, are you, as well?
Fast.
So fast. Say that again.
You're not exactly old. That's a long time for someone who's...
Yeah, I started youth work when I started volunteering when I was 16.
16, yeah.
Yeah.
How old are you now?
24, 25 this year.
Amazing.
Yeah, so, yeah, I'm a mother to one. Got my little baby girl, Zenzavaya. Yeah, and yeah, that's me, 24, born in London, live in Wolves.
Wow. So did you move when you were a child?
Yeah, I moved up here when I was 6 years old with my family, and that's why I sound like this.
Yeah, you don't sound local.
People say I sound like I'm from London when I say London.
Yeah, you do. I heard it then. I heard it.
Yeah, that's me. That's me. Yeah.
I appreciate that. What about you, Caitlin?
Yeah, I'm Caitlin.
I mean, you've been
I'm
here
back
before,
again.
back again.
I was eager to get back. Still an artist. Still doing all my arty things, and yeah, I'm excited that you've asked me back today.
So this is a special podcast because obviously it is International Women's Day, and it's a day where we reflect on what we have achieved so far, the progression that we have, but also what we need to do. So the first question I want to throw out is, how far do you think we have come in a progression, and what would you like to see in the future?
So, like, in terms of like women's progression,
women's progression, or what you think people need to do to be able to progress. I
think now we're in a time where I personally feel like women are doing a lot more for each other, and I think there's a lot more influencers that are sort of body positive and sort of promoting like women for women, like empowerment and sort of unity rather than girls being at each other's throat. I think there's a lot more of that now. So I think that's really nice area to be in. I still think there's a lot more that needs to be done, and I mean I think we have to deal with problems here in the UK for women, but also I think there's a massive need for feminism to be in third world countries and places that aren't getting the sort of media attention and sort of influences that we're privileged to have.
Look at Bangladesh. You have females forced into marriages, and then you've got Cambodia where just going to school is a challenge because people could get kidnapped, raped on the way there as well. I know that's harsh to hear, but that's the truth.
It's the reality.
It's the truth.
Yeah, definitely.
But is that another thing where do you think we take for granted the privileges we have in the sense in our country? Do you think sometimes people do take that?
See, I think it's interesting when you say privilege because we've done an activity of this the other day
we did,
around social privileges, and I think it's hard for you to identify your own privilege because that's normal.
Yeah.
And what we live is our normal reality. But when you compare it to somebody else who doesn't, that's when you see a privilege. So I feel like until you go to another country and see it for what it is, or talk to somebody who has experienced that inequality, then you really won't understand. We can hear stories and everything, but I don't know, like, I feel like where we are today as women, I feel like we've come a long way, huge. We have, and we feel like we have to like wave our flags to that. But I still think there's a lot more work to be done. But I feel like it's changing a mindset, and we have
beliefs and people's attitudes towards different situations and people's lifestyles and different
tradition. Like in a household, like the man taking the provider role and the woman at home, you know what I'm saying? And regardless if we like it or not, like that is still...
It's still embedded in us
it's
so
embedded
much.
in our culture. And I feel like they say it takes like 3 generations to change a mindset. And I don't know, we're getting there, but I still think we've got a long way to go.
I agree as well. I also think that, like, for white women, I think privileges there have definitely been... what am I trying to say? So I personally believe that still now, as a white woman, I believe that I need to use my privileges with my voice to help other marginalised individuals. And in my personal opinion, I still think that young black women are the most oppressed and the most marginalised still. And that's something that I think is really important to talk about. Do you know what I mean?
That's so nice. Not nice, but it's nice to hear that from... like yourself as a white woman, seeing that, because I feel like so many people are blind to the privileges. Even like you say, as women, like we've got the category of women, but then there's subcategories.
There is.
Like of down to like race, even down to religion. Like, and
you can't forget that, can you? That is part of the whole progression happening. That it is to do with race as well. Let's be honest.
It is.
And then when you're going into a workforce, have any of you actually experienced anything where you have been judged on something for being just a woman?
Let me try and think.
Even without the person maybe realising they're doing it. Or it could be race.
I think for me, like in my youth work background, it is about equality and making everyone feel welcome and being one. So I haven't felt the direct it being like that. But you hear it like when it comes to heavy lifting. And they're like, let the men, let's do a man, let the men do it. We
just
can
the
do it.
Finer details.
Little things, and it's like, but I can lift too. Like, I've got strength behind me. Like, doesn't mean to say we can't do it, but it's subtle.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It is sort of little things, isn't it? And I remember one occasion, no names being mentioned here, but I was in my workplace and there was a video on Facebook, and this person was looking at this video, and it was of a boxer in America and a young woman interviewing him. And at the end of the interview, like, he forcibly grabs her and kisses her. And this person in my workplace was like... I
saw that video. Yeah.
And she looks really uncomfortable. She laughs it off just for the camera. But after that incident, she tweeted and, like, said how uncomfortable it made her feel. But the person in my workplace at the time was like, I don't see what's wrong with that. Look how close she was standing to him. Look at her lipstick. Look at her body language around if she wanted it. And in my professional... workplace, I had to bite my tongue because I knew, which I kind of hate that I did that. I wish I kind of said, like, no, actually, it's really wrong.
But then maybe the workplace you were in created that atmosphere or that kind of environment where it shouldn't have, but you felt like you couldn't speak up.
Yeah.
And is that, again, something where we haven't progressed?
Yeah, because that's another form of oppression, isn't it? If you don't feel like
because I've had
you
it.
can speak your mind.
I've
tell
had
us about yours.
I've had someone every time they were on shift say something sexual to me, a guy, and be like, when we're booking a hotel, when we're going there, giving no flirty indication to the person of that I'm even attracted to them.
And also, it's like you're in your workplace,
and I want to
like there's a time and a place.
I don't want, like, I want to concentrate on what I'm doing. So, and sometimes you feel like, am I being a nuisance if I bring this up and take it to HR for it? And we shouldn't feel like that.
No.
And when you work so closely to the person and then connected to close people that you work with, and you don't want to also upset them, it's very hard. It's a fine line
situation to be in.
How can we feel comfortable enough? And like, what do people need to do in corporations to make us feel like that? I don't know. Maybe that's something.
Maybe that is where we need to progress to, like, talk about these things.
Yeah. But But I think it comes back to as well, and this, I'm not coming for men when I'm saying this.
Oh no,
I'm not
there's
coming
some.
for it.
Let's be honest. There's some great men out there that actually fly the flag for us women, and actually, like you said, having to speak, having to speak on behalf of us.
But I feel like when men are making decisions for women, I don't agree with that. Like, you don't, no disrespect, but how can you make a decision for somebody when you don't live what they are living? And I'm not saying like all workplaces, but in some workplaces, when the person you have to go to for support is a man, can you really empathize and understand what we're going through? But then I'm not saying the person in power should be a woman.
They can try to understand, but they probably won't fully. It's like, have you ever had that period conversation?
Oh yeah.
Right, I'll give an example, and you can give yours, mate. Obviously, comfortable wise. But I remember being in the supervision, and they asked me while I've been off, and I go, I emotionally wasn't stable, and I also had excruciating pains because of my period. You can't keep using that as an excuse. That's what I got. I went, well, you get it every month, once a week, mate. So what am I supposed to do?
Yeah, it's like, oh, you asked for me. Like, if we didn't have to have them, I'm sure we'd all be like, can I take mine away? Yeah. No.
So have you ever had? It doesn't even have to be with a higher up person of power, but have you ever felt like you are judged for saying, "Oh, it's my time for the month"?
Like, I remember being at work and having crippling pain, period pain, and feeling so uncomfortable that I had to lean over the counter just to suppress it slightly.
Yeah, I know them ones.
And and for one, I think the fact that we still crack on day to day, get up, go to work, do the things we do with that, because for some women it's 10 times worse.
Yeah, they can't move out of bed.
No, exactly. And
true.
so like, is it an excuse then? And is my period any less important because I'm not bedbound? Like, it's this whole conversation over periods, I guess, and using it as an excuse. It's not an excuse. It does happen. It's not like I'm lying in bed being like, oh, I'll call up and just lie about my period. We all pull sickies from time to time, but I would never do it for that. Like,
That's so honest.
I mean, we do. Let's be real.
We do. That's so true.
But I would be so infuriated if someone was like, you're using that as an excuse, because genuinely periods are so fucking painful, and they can cause migraines, they can cause nausea, you know, and your emotions. Like, for one, you can be so like,
I'm looking
hot-headed
like
1 minute and then crying the next minute. It's difficult to control that sometimes.
And we do get, I feel like we are judged even on that.
Yeah.
Because obviously you're not going to go around going, it's my period.
Yeah.
It's my period. You're not going to hold a sign saying it's my month, are you? Let's be honest.
But at the same time, we were kind of made to feel like we have to do that.
Yeah.
Like, and I feel like your point goes back to my point, like that if... I've lost my point. I've lost my point. I've lost my trail of thought.
It's about periods.
No, it's about periods. But explaining yourself and even talking to your boss, who potentially is a male, and I feel like this, I'm in pain. They haven't had a period.
They won't get it.
Yeah, they don't get it. Like, you haven't got a womb. You don't bleed, like, well, through your vagina.
You ain't got a
vagina.
Oh yeah.
I'm allowed to say vagina.
Let's not censor ourselves.
I'm asking, am I allowed to say vagina?
People have said fuck shit on it. Let's be honest.
My first time, I was like, can we swear?
Yes.
But
no, I agree. I don't think we should have to explain ourselves.
No, we shouldn't.
And then when you do, we shouldn't have to feel uncomfortable about it.
I don't know if it's in your following up questions to link into periods, but one thing that bothers me about periods is, as a woman, how we have to pay for our sanitary towels.
Oh, yeah.
When condoms are free on the NHS, which sex is a choice. Yeah. It is. You don't have to have sex. It's a choice. You don't have to.
Periods aren't, no.
It's not a choice. It's natural, but then we have to pay.
It's funny, I was having this conversation with my mum, and my mum said it before I did. She goes, why are you, especially now, your generation, you would have thought you'd be given, even if like it was a charity thing, if you give money to a charity towards having them, but to pay, and we don't.
Because they're classed as what's the word I'm looking for?
Toiletries.
Yeah, like a Yeah, essentially that.
But
yeah,
they're a necessity at the same
it
time
is.
as well.
It's not like, oh, I fancy going out and buying some always sanitary towels. Like,
Have you
I don't
ever
ever fancy that. I'm like, fuck,
That's
I've
a
got
good
to get
point.
some pads because I'm bleeding like a crazy person over here.
Have you ever felt embarrassed buying sanitary pads ever?
I think younger. I think when I was younger, I used
When
to get
I-
my mum
I-
to get
same,
them.
same.
Or if it was a man on the counter, I'd go to a
Same.
female person serving.
Yeah.
Only when I was younger,
that's
though.
how-
I got
yeah.
to a point now where I'm
You
like,
just like, you do
have
though.
them.
You do get to the point where you're
Yeah.
in so much pain. Just
yeah,
give me my pants.
yeah.
Give me my pants now. Do you think also how in society how we view ourselves can affect how we also have change or progression happen? Because I think how you look at yourself can also impact how you reflect yourself onto society as well. So if you're having a bad day and you're taking it out on other people or looking at another
Oh, I
woman,
see what you
judging
mean,
them,
like projecting your sort
yeah.
of.
Do you think that can also stop progression because of how you're looking at yourself or how the media makes you look at yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say the media has a massive influence on young men, young women, older men, older women, all of us. Like, it's something that we're exposed to daily. And now with the media age we're in, and phones are like popping off, there's visuals everywhere. I think it is really it's really difficult sometimes to feel body positive. And although I preach it, I struggle sometimes. Me and my boyfriend have had this conversation before, and I've been like, oh, I don't want to go out. Oh, I've got to put makeup on. And he's like, but you know, you say you don't have to wear makeup. You just go out and you do. But sometimes when you do feel shitty about yourself,
You want to
you find it really difficult to feel positive. So if you can't feel positive about yourself, then how do you expect everybody else to be as progressive and think, yeah, like we're all just going to be liberal and love ourselves? And it is something that I think is getting better. I think the media should be held more accountable for the shit that they're pumping out for people to see.
Yeah.
And the scary thing is younger people now, like they're growing up with phones, they're growing up with access to
it's
these
funny you
things.
say that because I was watching my niece watch a lot of programs on these Disney channels and this stuff, and a lot of them were like the conventional family. Oh, it's a white family with a boy and a girl, like a son and daughter.
Yep.
And I was thinking, okay,
dog.
now where's people with different ethnicities?
Yeah.
Where's that coming from? There's hardly any I've seen on
See,
on a children's show.
funny you say that. Is me personally, it's crazy. Growing up, I love Disney. Now becoming a mum, I don't like Disney.
Oh, that's interesting.
I don't like.
That was the
agree
next
with
question I was going to say. With obviously, I haven't had a kid yet, but I look after kids, and obviously you have probably. Do you have any nieces or nephews?
Cousins. My partner has like a 3-year-old niece who we're always with. So
does it change being a mum now? Everything you look at, even if it's films, change your perspective.
When it comes to Disney specifically, because I feel like Disney portray a message. They know what they're doing. They know what they're trying to push. But the only Disney films I really like for my daughter to watch, Frozen, and there's reasons to it. Frozen, Mulan.
Yeah.
I would say Pocahontas, but no. No. But, and the reason why I say them two is Frozen. Most Disney films ends in the man rescuing the girl. The woman is the damsel in distress. Oh, she needs her Prince Charming. Yeah. But where is it promoting women not needing a man to support? Where Frozen is perfect because it's sisterhood.
Sisterhood.
And it shows that
so
female.
true.
Female empowerment.
And Mulan, you know what I'm saying, is she's a girl, you know what I'm saying, and she goes in and fights as a man. If you get me, fair enough. In the end, she finds the love, but even how they find the love,
and she becomes a
they
guy.
don't put emphasis on that.
It's not conventionally like built up like the traditional stories in Disney films.
But then you look at Cinderella, Snow White, Sleeping Beauty.
It's all very similar.
It's all, and it's like I'm thinking, I don't want my daughter being raised thinking that us as women, we need men. Like
that's the norm.
That's the norm. Like we can look after each other. It's all right to have. I'm not saying we don't need a man. Like you know what I'm saying, to have
like
it
a luxury though. It's like,
but
it's a luxury thing. You know, you don't need. It's not necessity.
No,
for a man or woman to be in a relationship with either sex or same sex, whatever. You don't need that.
No.
And I think it is problematic from a young age when you know you've got your daughter watching a film that's imaginary, but it's, you know, it's commenting on all these things that could possibly then be influenced in her older years. Like, I need a boyfriend. That's how I'll be happy.
Kids are sponges. They're gonna soak it up.
Yeah.
Different connotations.
And children, correct me if I'm wrong, but they're like sponges.
Yeah, they are.
You know, they absorb and remember little things, and they're so intelligent.
But
really.
But look, when these films were made, in the 1950s, 1960, like to say Cinderella, I think that was made in 1953.
Wow.
And the times between 1953 and now, like it's changed. Like we ain't even gone through women rights then. Like you, like serious, like the woman
wasn't even
was
a thing.
no. So, but they're still playing it now and promoting it now, which I feel like the media needs to take responsibility for that as well. Because what message are you projecting to these younger girls? When you're an adult, you can make your own mind up. When you're a kid, no, you can't.
That's so true.
So do you feel like men need to be liberated in order for us to, because that was one of the lines. No, I was
when you say liberated, what do you mean? Could you elaborate on that? Like
liberate in a sense of, you know, how they're like the breadwinners, in the sense of they have to go out, and emotions as well. A lot of guys feel like they can't open up about certain things, and we are coming past that with the mental health awareness and all this going on. But do you feel they need to be liberated from their roles in order for us to be?
I personally think it's down to education. I think that we're talking about from a young age, we can be exposed to things that can maybe shape and mould the way we think about things. So I think men, not as much as women by any means, and I'm not saying that to be like anti-man, but I do believe that men are repressed as well. I think there is a lot of pressure for men to feel, you know, I've got to be strong, I've got to be making loads of money, I've got to not be emotional, you know, I can't cry. And I've grown up with older brothers and like men in my family, and I've seen that in them. I've seen that they can't express their emotions, and it turns out to be anger or violence or, you know, aggressive attitudes, because there's this sort of like...
I've had someone close, similar to that, going through a nervous breakdown because I can't. Yeah. They can't fit that role because I can't achieve and they want to be able to have a financial stability in the family, because I feel like they're the main person that has to do that, and that shouldn't be solely on the guy. And I feel like that's the whole, like the liberation side, in the sense of there needs to be a shift with the men in order to, like a constant thing back and forth, a balance, like you said, education.
See, I think it starts at home.
That's true.
I think it starts at home because you learn behaviour. You see some people, you know what I'm saying, aren't involved with their parents, maybe been brought up in care, foster care, but if they are brought up in a household where they have their parents, mom and dad is active in their life, I feel like it starts from there, that maybe dad talking and showing emotional vulnerability, so then son sees that it's okay to do that, or showing that mom is working as well as dad, so okay, it's not just the man who has to work, and I think it starts back at home, and then but
no, that's true. Even like with my four brothers, I've had to put them, growing up, I've had to put them in their place and be like, you're judging me because I'm a female? But I can play football with you too. I can kick the ball as hard as you. There's little things like that, and it does have an impact.
I agree when you say like it starts at home. I think that the only problematic thing about some of that, not everybody has that like nice balance structure in their home, you know, like and if you're exposed to something that's not, you know, the right sort of nurturing, I feel like that can definitely have an impact on your behaviour. And also I think the parenting side of things, most of our parents were years and years and years ago, like when they were growing up, and think about the times they were in then. It was even worse, right? So men were even more of the breadwinner and the this, that, the other. I think, and then women were even more oppressed.
Taking people's names as well in marriage, like you wouldn't really have had that option to have had your own. You become... that you're there.
It's like property. Isn't it? Yeah,
I watched a video on I think it's Facebook or Instagram, one of them, and it's a woman broke down where Mrs. comes from, because if you're not married, it's Miss, and if you're a man and you're not married, it's Master. Well, it's changed now. But then when you become married as a female, then it becomes Mrs. And the woman's like, I'm trying to think, where has this Mrs. come from? And then all she did was add an apostrophe next to the MR, between the R and the S, and it's Misters. So we belong to the man. And I saw that and I was like, oh my God. And she was like, that's the only way I could think where it comes from. But we have to think back as well to when that came out and when that happened. And we was property of the man. When you get married, like then you are, oh, that bothers me just even saying that.
Talking about, talking about being with someone, having a kid like yourself, have you ever felt like a push and pull between working and being a mother?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Especially more so now. It's funny because I'm the person, I've always been career. Like, it's crazy. 5 years ago, I saw myself being the woman, not having kids, but being auntie to everyone. Like, and just auntie. And then I got pregnant and then I had my baby girl. But since then, my priorities have changed. How I view life. Before, it was like money, hustle, make my grind, save, get these luxury things, these nice things, do that. But now it's like, money's not everything. Yeah. That is not the be-all and it's creating memories and enjoying life. So, yeah, it's nice to have money so you can do those things. But, no, like, my whole view on life has changed. Like, I'll have money, so I can do things, but time is so much more important than money. And then so you don't want to reach a point in life where you wasted time chasing money and what you got, you got money and savings, but you got nobody around you.
But it can't hug you back.
Yeah, it can't give you that hug you back.
When, at the end.
Sounds dark.
When you're croaking it.
It's so true.
But when you die, like, your money don't go with you.
No.
You don't, like, but...
Your memories hopefully will.
But with other people as well.
And you live on through your memories though, don't you?
Yeah.
That's so
I can like
true.
say it goes to a cat sanctuary or something.
Oh, yeah.
Can imagine my auntie will do something like that.
I think I would. If I had loads of money left over, I'd be like, give it to the cats.
Just give it to them now. But I wanted to ask, have you ever had a part in your life where you're actually proud of doing something, being a woman, like you've achieved something where, you know, I've actually made a difference doing that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think honestly, just being a woman, like, I'm so proud to be a woman. You know what I mean? Like, we have shitty periods.
You got to say your tag.
You
got to
my pussy rules. It does, and yours does too, and yours does too. Like, all of those women out there, you're listening.
Just starts talking.
Oh yes, I love you too.
I've been down here for ages. What the fuck's going on? Come on. No, Chantal, stop doing that. No graphical images.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry, go on.
Yeah, to follow on to your point, I think as a young woman today, I feel like I've achieved a lot.
Yeah.
You know, I grew up in a background where my parents' relationship wasn't always the best. That was kind of weirdly shaping me. I was quite an angry child, as I spoke to you before.
Yeah.
And so
I'm not laughing at you being angry.
I had sort of like no time for education. I was like, I want to make money, I want to do things, blah, 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 blah. And then when I was working and I had this realisation of like, I don't want to work in this retail job forever. I want to go back and educate myself, you know, went to uni, got through a BA, came out with a first.
Hey.
Go on, girl.
Yeah, man. And then, you know, to pursue my career further, do the MA and have I had a show in London. I was on the radio with Vital. I have my own studio space now and I'm pursuing my career part-time as an artist. And yeah, I think that's it's I'm achieving.
And you're creating awareness through the
and
work
the
that
work,
you're doing.
exactly. My work has always been very like female empowered and it has a definite like feminist perspective when I'm researching and making things. And I want to share that sort of knowledge and passion with other females as well. When I did my first solo show at Asylum Art Gallery, I made the point of I didn't want people just to come in and look at my work. I wanted it to be an event. I wanted it to be an event that's marked in history, in modern history, where other female creatives came together and put on a fucking show.
That's so empowering.
And it is. And the whole night, like, the atmosphere was amazing.
It looked like it looked wicked.
The energy in the room and all these females like being there for each other, because I grew up in a school where like it was competition between girls, man. It was like, who's the popularist, who's the prettiest, who's got the nicest hair, makeup, this, that, the other. And it was very toxic, and again, it probably contributed to
dating the one that I like, you dating
that's it. It was very catty, and you almost grow up thinking that you have to be in competition with other females. But in my adult years, I found that, you know, compliment your girls, man. Like, big each other up where it's needed. Like, solidarity and like compassion for one another. We're not in this alone. We're in it together.
Well, competition.
We all have flaws. We have flaws. Acknowledge what's good in us.
Yeah.
So easy to be like, you need to brush up on that or whatever. No painting, but What about yourself, though? Is there anything where, I mean, being a mom itself.
Yeah, I mean, that's like a fucking huge achievement.
I feel
You know
like
what I mean?
I think that's my most recent achievement, becoming a mom. Like, it is. But I feel like post mommy life, just doing my job as a youth worker and coming across the young girls, not even girls, just girls, just young people in general, and talking to them, seeing what issues they're going through and helping them get through their hardships is so rewarding alone.
It's a beautiful
thing.
Amazing.
That's nice, yeah.
And it's nice when I can walk through town, like, and I've got young people that I've worked with 5 years ago, Chandel, coming up to me, and it's like, how are you? And I'm like, what you doing? And like, they're working, or they're in uni doing this, or they've travelled and done this, and it's like, that is so rewarding for me just to hear that, to know that maybe at a point in their life, like, I know, like, I can't say no names, if you know what I mean.
That one thing you said to them made a positive
like, I remember,
influence on them,
I remember a couple of years ago, and there was this girl, no names, and she was really low. I remember when we crossed paths in my youth work career, I feel like she was at her lowest. Yeah. And I was working with her, times where she attempted to take her life, like, and she was up and down, even her home life. She was just, everything was all over the place, but I was her
rocking away.
Yeah, and still to this day,
her salvation, and where she could talk to someone and be like, okay, you give me
that support that she didn't have, maybe, you know.
And she says to me now, like, if it wasn't for you at that time in my life, I would not be alive. I would not be alive.
She probably did she have people around her that actually supported it? So you were really that only support system.
Yeah.
She had.
I say it and it gets me emotional. I'm not going to start crying, but I feel like youth workers are so underrated.
Oh my God, I couldn't.
So underrated, and I'm not going to go into all that because that's something else, but that's where it starts. And even with the influence, when we was talking about where does it come back to in youth clubs, having role models, positive role models, like me, like, I'm so feminist and I'm pro-black, like, at the same time. That's just me. And as a black woman, when I see young black women struggling with identity, like, even with hair, like, for me, that's a big thing right now, is embracing your natural hair, not feeling like we have to relax our hair.
But you know what's sad?
Our hair.
That's only just starting to
come in.
And it's also through the music as well. And I feel like and it's a shame that it's only just started, but like you said, that's a nice thing that it is, having that shift.
But it's leading by example. And I'm not saying you can't have weave. If you want weave, wear weave. Like, weave's fabulous. Like, I love weave, you know what I'm saying? We all like to have hair.
It's painful though, isn't it?
But be proud of who you are. And be proud of your natural state. And
if you're doing it, sort of have that conscious sort of mindset where you're like, I'm doing this for me. I'm not doing this because I feel like it's going to make me fit in more at my workplace, or I'll look like the other girls at school. It shouldn't be about that.
For you. You know me in work, I come with my afro out. Like,
it's great.
Like,
amazing.
And everyone's like, what's going on with your hair? And I'm like, what do you mean, what's going on with my hair? Like, this is my hair.
This is you.
Like, your hair's a bit, And I'm like, what's, They're like, a bit frizzy. Like, no, this is my natural form. This is afro. Like,
and it's a real shame because girls will actually damage themselves in order to have that certain look. Like you said, the hair, they'll damage their hair.
And damage their hair, relax, put chemicals in it, everything, just to blend in with society.
And it's so beautiful as well. Even like just the little curls, what I'd give to have the curls. But that's always the way. People always like want something that
they can't have.
Yeah.
And that's probably another thing, mentality thing we need to get out of. But yeah.
Have you guys ever like felt that you've changed your appearance to fit in?
Yeah. Growing up, definitely.
Same. I would say so.
Yeah.
I used to put like layers of fake tan. Like, I was fluorescent orange. I wanted to be like just straight back from Barbados, looking all nice.
I think we should get those pictures. Like, and I'll just like slide one in. Woo! Before
I feel like I've deleted all the photographic evidence of those periods of my life. But no, I felt so much pressure to like. I used to get up like an hour too early before going to school so I could curl all my hair, put all my makeup on, layers of foundation, big pink fucking cheeks, and then just fucking bright orange skin. And I don't know even if it made me feel better. I still felt like I was competing and trying to look a certain way. And then when I got to college, I was like, fuck this, I'm going to be me. And that's when I started getting metal in my face and getting tattoos and just being like, I don't care if I don't look like you or you.
Yeah. Have you ever pierced yourself? Have you ever pierced yourself? I mean,
I've re-pierced myself. I've re-pierced my smiley a few times. Interesting. But I'm not brave enough to be like stabbing myself.
See, even your job is like, isn't stereotypically, to me, a female straight away a job, that type of thing.
Uh-huh.
You see.
Yeah.
I know, I have to. It's interesting because I was growing up, I wouldn't wear makeup.
Oh, okay.
I think I was going because I played with the lads a lot. I probably not like gender identity, but I was in that persona in my head where it was very male dominated. So I then transitioned into wanting to wear makeup. Then I've got to the point where I don't like going out without any eye makeup on.
Yeah.
So maybe I need to have a day where I just wear mascara maybe.
Yeah, yeah.
And don't always have to put it on because we do that.
Yeah,
it's true.
To ourselves.
See, for me, mine was in school because like I went to Heath Park. Just shout out Heath Park gang. Yeah, you know, look at the camera. Heath Park, you know. But yeah, I went Heath Park, which is a very dominant black school. When I started, when I came in year 7, like all the years above, like everyone was just black, like black and Asian. But I hang around with a lot of white friends, and it sounds crazy. I was like the token black friend. I was. Sorry, I know you hate that. I know you hate that. But I was
Well,
like,
what does it look like now? I mean, no.
I know, but my hair, I wanted to. I know, like when girls in school, when they used to walk down the corridor and you see their ponytail just like flicking from side to side. I always wanted that, but
Really?
I
I find it interesting. Okay.
I did, like, and my primary school I went to was a dominant white school, like, so I was always trying to fit in.
And that culture.
Relax my hair, straighten my hair, wear, not like girls when you used to wear like Paul's Boutique.
Yeah, or Jane Norman.
Jane Norman bags, just trying to fit
Why was
in.
I so out of this? Maybe I was too mad.
Yeah, the Paul's Boutique coats and the Jane Norman
I like
bag.
night football.
But
You were the ultimate feminist without even knowing. You're like, I'm going to play football and not wear Jane
There's
Norman.
actually a picture of all the girls wearing skirts. I'm the only one wearing trousers and boots.
Wow. That's the thing. Do you guys remember when you were at school that they brought in girls could wear trousers? Because before that, it was always skirt.
see, my time it was both. I never had that transition.
I
You
remember
only
being
had
in
skirts?
school and they were saying we've got some
Wow,
new, like you're allowed to wear new uniform. Girls can now wear trousers. And I was
Oh.
like, well, I don't think I ever
mad.
wore trousers.
Where did you go? Can you shout it?
Archbishop Hillsley, and I will shout it out, but for the wrong fucking reason.
So you looking at
I was like, if anyone's watching now, I really meant that. Like, terrible school, terrible.
Role models. And what about female? Do you have any good female role models there?
In school,
Yeah.
my art teacher was cool.
Yeah.
Carly Cork, shout out.
You think that inspired you to do art now? Because
well,
if you had a good female role model, which is your art teacher, and now you're doing art, do you think that there's a link there?
I think definitely yes, but maybe not so much in school. But when I went to college, because I had a year out after going to sixth form at my old school, worked for a year, and then I went back to college and I went to Bourneville College, and I had 3
She was a choir girl.
I had 3 wonderful art teachers, Benita, Amanda, and
What beautiful
Lisa.
names.
Yeah, they are. They all ring
Just
really nicely
really
on
nice.
the tongue. But if it wasn't for those 3 women, I don't think I would be. I don't think I would have went to university.
Okay.
And when I had my solo show, I invited them to it,
Ah.
and they came. And I
That's-
got
that's
so
look-
emotional
yeah.
because I was like, "You
Yeah.
guys, like, you coached me.
Yeah.
You showed me that I had potential that I was too blind to see, or
That's nice to hear that.
you know." And they
Gives
said
me
yes
hope.
to answer your question.
Yeah.
It was those 3 tutors that really pushed me, and I thank them every day for it. Yeah.
Is anyone? Do you ever look at your mums and think, okay, you've helped me a lot?
My mum's been my rock.
Yeah.
Like my mum, she raised me and my brother. If you know what I mean, she worked whilst doing it and had time.
Wow.
Had time, like made time, went on holidays. Like she's like Superwoman.
Oh, that's so
She's,
amazing.
Like my mum
Yeah.
is everything for me. She's my role model.
Yeah.
I wish that I can have a relationship with my daughter how I have a relationship with my mum. She's very open, transparent. Talk to me. If you got any problems, talk. I'm not gonna cuss you. Like we
Yeah.
can just talk. If you
That's important. Open household.
Yeah.
Creating that environment where a kid feels like, okay, I've messed up, but I can go to the person and talk about it.
Rather than hiding it
Yeah.
or feeling like you have to lie to get out of
Oh,
situations or
Let's be honest with all.
Oh yeah. A few little white lies.
See, but if I'm being honest with my mum, like I've done some bad stuff.
Yeah, but it always ends up, you always talk to her about
Yeah,
it.
I tell her about it. Like my mum even says, like if you're gonna do anything,
Yeah.
like I'm not gonna expose my criminal history.
I was say
on
criminal
the-
record.
my criminal history, but there's
You
times
won't.
where I know I'm going to do something that I know is not right, but I have my reasons to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then I know with my mum, if I do it, then she finds out afterwards I would get in a lot more trouble rather than me just telling her, explaining how I'm feeling, this is what I want to do. Then she'll be like, okay, I don't think that's the best thing for you to do. Try doing this instead. But there was that open household where if I'm going to do something, I'll just tell her.
It's really important, isn't it, having that? I think growing up with parents that you can talk to about anything. And for myself, I don't really feel like I had that. And that's not because my parents didn't make me feel that way.
But they're going through their own.
But they were going through a lot themselves. And so I didn't want to be like a burden on top of that maybe, or I didn't want to add pressure.
That's a good thing to point out, because sometimes it isn't always parents, even if it's a friend. Even if you go, or yourself, maybe you've just sorted it. Like you've had to talk to yourself. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, so like, I've lost my point. I hate when this happens.
About when you go through certain things, not being able to open up at that situation. So would you just store it away?
I don't think I stored it. When I was growing up, I had a really good like friendship group. Like
that's good.
That my friend Karina, I've known her since I was like 3 years old, and she's still in my life now. Shout out Karina. But yeah, I think having good friends, you know, if you don't have that, you know, I'm not saying my family network wasn't tight, because we're such a close family.
No,
like
but
we really are.
You don't have to have blood in someone's, but like, you know, your same blood to be able to call them family.
That's so true. I see Karina as family. I see all my close friends as family. You choose those people to be your family, don't you? But yeah, I think if you can find good support in parents or friends or, you know, even sometimes like, you know, how we spoke about tutors that have been good to you. I think sometimes just having that one person or two people that you can sort of talk about stuff with, you know, I think that really helps any young person, any person that's struggling with stuff.
Good. I think as well, just to add to that, is you're saying like having those people around you that you don't realise that they influence your path in life. Like my mum.
Big time,
My mum, growing up, my mum was a youth worker.
Oh, wow,
I used to go youth club with her. And then everyone used to call her Sunshine. That was crazy. This used to be her nickname.
Amazing.
And all the kids used to love her. And I used to look at mum thinking like, wow.
Yeah, you're special.
I want to do that. And it's crazy now that like I've taken the same path as my mum. Not like through her forcing that on me, but she was my role model. I saw how she helped people. And I wanted to become her and be like that. And now I'm here. But it is like the people in your family, you don't realise how they can influence your choices in life. But just by being a positive role, even as a negative role model, like you
can learn a lot from either one. You can learn
you can
a lot
go
from
one or the other. But you can either turn into them and do the things that they do.
Use it as an excuse to be like, okay, I'll do.
This is all I know.
It's not an excuse. You're going through a lot, but
learn behaviour.
It is, ultimately, it is, you know, it could go one of two ways. If you have parents or a parent or, you know, a carer or whatever who's not a strong role model, who's doing things that you're sort of sitting back and questioning and thinking, no, I don't want to do that, that's not right. It could go one of two ways. You can copy the behaviour, you can then live on to be like that and sort of then have problems along the way, or you can sort of learn from it and think, no, I know that I can be better than that. It's just one of those.
Power of the pussy.
Power of the pussy.
Not pussy rules. What does that remind me of, that guy? Really
God,
bad.
That's such a horrible
video.
video.
International Women's Day as well. He grabs the mic off a female reporter, and he goes, "Fuck around in a pussy."
It's like a horrible meme.
Really bad.
I can't lie, it's funny.
It is
because
funny.
It's kind of like he's disrupting this serious news report.
She's incredibly serious.
Her thing. And then he just grabs the mic and he's like, it's like, wow, but okay.
I expect that.
You know, you got to
Moving
laugh
on.
at stuff like that. Yeah, let's move on.
And now I'm going to get asked this next question so seriously now. Anyway, but how do you see yourself now as a woman in 2020? Like as the progression and equality,
as an individual, as
a whole, both.
I feel like 2020 is a big year in a lot of aspects. I feel like it's the year that a lot of things are moving forward, or a lot of change is happening, like with Brexit, with coronavirus. And I'm joking.
Well, you look actually at the acts. A lot of the acts were put in 2010, new ones, and that type of thing. So we need more. Let's be honest, we do need more. So hopefully, you know, a decade's gone. There'll be a few more acts put in for diversity. And
I feel like from 2019 coming into 2020, there's been a lot of female influencers speaking up. Like even like with the Me Too campaign in America, like there's
Michelle Obama.
Michelle Obama. Like I know Wonder Woman was the ambassador for. No, that was that last year or the year before.
It was.
I'm not sure.
She was the female.
Was it Iran?
was it? I don't know. I know she was the female ambassador for, and there was a huge uproar about it because it's like, how can you have a fiction?
She's like a fictional character,
but what she stands for
is justice, equality, love, and all that. Yeah,
is big. But I feel like in 2020 for women, I hope that a lot. I don't know. I really don't know.
We progress further. We want more, don't we?
Yeah.
This is the year, I think, now, where people are speaking out more. I watched a really good documentary the other day. You guys need to watch it. It's making me want to grow out my pubes. But it's called it's called Bring Back the Bush.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I know what you're on about.
It's on Netflix?
No, it's on
BBC Three.
Okay, I might have to go
yeah,
on
BBC Three.
BBC Three always has that. I'm always on BBC Three
but,
documentary.
oh my God, it's incredible. This beautiful young black girl. She's an Instagram influencer.
Okay.
And she's got other influencers, like a set of females to do this challenge together where they all grow out their pubic hair. And throughout the documentary, like, they show like progression of this, and you know, they're actually starting to say like, you know what, I actually really like my bush, like it's really cute, and you know, and I just think that to be on TV, so like out there, and I was just so empowered after watching it, and I'm there like,
what been funny?
Start growing myself.
If I can have Naked Attraction on TV on Channel 4, I'm sure they should
Naked Attraction, like,
at least the one that you're on about has a purpose.
It does
a good purpose.
Right? Yeah, I feel like Naked Attraction is problematic in many ways because I think one, it's good because the people that are going on it have that choice, and I think they're choosing to, like, you know, be liberal and think, I'm going to get out and I'm going to be naked on TV. I don't know why anyone would want to do it, but I respect
national
that's
TV.
What you want to do, right? But what I find is problematic for the viewers that might be watching it at home, it could be younger people that might be influenced by like the things that they're saying, you know, like, I would prefer like, you know,
it's true,
a smaller stomach or, you know, bigger thighs.
That's the norm.
Yeah,
I've got to say that now.
So I think because it's like a dating show, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right.
And
I think it's putting the wrong ideas in people's heads that when you're dating, it's let's get to your physical body first, rather than let's getting to know each other. Yeah. Because I don't personally think that it should be about that.
It's about substance. You need to know. Yeah.
You want to know the person.
You might have a great body, but would it last?
Yeah, exactly.
Is that connection gonna last?
See, what I love is dinner date.
Oh yeah.
I do. No, but like I feel like you sit down, you get to know the person, you talk, and then if it works out, it works out, and you can sit down and you can give feedback. You know what I'm saying, on how the date went, and
both sexes are cooking in that. It's not just a woman cooking.
Yeah.
You got both of them.
Honestly, I think that's way more progressive than a bunch of people taking their clothes off on TV and being like, I prefer big tits or small tits or whatever. Do you know what I mean? I just think that in itself is quite problematic, although it is, I guess, trying to be.
And there's another big thing, because obviously you got non-binary now.
Say that again.
Non-binary.
Yeah,
so you got this, obviously the women's movement, but then now we've got to take in consideration there's another movement happening that we also need to integrate, because we all are one. That's what we essentially want to be, is one.
Yeah. And I think feminism at its core, because obviously through history it's been said it's this, it's been that, it's been this, and I think there is so many different waves of feminism, and I think also feminism is so personal and different for each woman as well.
That's true.
There's a branding of feminism called intersectional feminism, and that is basically saying that you can't say women are this, men are this, transgender people are this, gay people are this. It's not about that. It's more about, instead of why don't we stop branding each other this, this and this, and actually, we're all different, and that difference is okay, and through feminism we'll celebrate that difference, you know.
See, adding to that is, I think, not a problem, I don't see this as a problem, but this is what we're living in, and I think when you come back to your question about 2020, we're living in a day and age where there's a label for everything.
There is.
Yep.
And that creates problems.
Yep.
It's good because people have a sense of...
Because we're becoming lazy with communication.
People have a sense of belonging to a community, but then at the same time that creates segregation.
Yeah.
And it's like LGBTQ+. Like, that's one for
You just triggered me, Karen. You just triggered me then.
LGBT, like, I think it's so positive. Like, I'll hold my hands up. I'm a part of that community myself.
Yeah.
But there's just so many subcategories in it, and aren't we supposed to be one? But then even with LGBTQ+, we're having that alone segregates straight people, heterosexual people, because they're not a part of that. You can come into it.
Allies.
You can come and
you're an ally.
Yeah, so it's, where is this togetherness? Rather than giving labels, fair enough, everyone wants a sense of belonging, to feel like...
There's a lot of hardship as well, and having, but we're hoping we're past that now. So I know what you're saying. by now.
Would there be more sense of belonging if we were all together, you know, rather than in our little subcategories of whatever?
And now when you apply for things, and you'll see now. So I've gone online and I've seen right. So are you white, black, British, that type of thing going on, and sexuality, and then obviously I get the whole diversity side of things, but why do we have to tick that box when I send it off? Why do I need to do that? Why do you need to know my sexuality? I'm just myself. Why do you need to know that?
They have statistics, don't they? Yeah.
And now it's becoming so like strategic and how they, and let's be real, that how they're picking people in jobs because they have to meet a quota.
Yeah. I mean,
not even just being a female though. Like I know with myself, like being a black female who's bisexual. When I go for a job, I make the choice if I want to tick that. But if you're applying for a job, so like if I'm going to work somewhere that majority of their demographics is white people, they have to meet equality regulations to show that equality. But then if I go for the job,
do you feel like, oh, should I tick it just to...
Yeah, but this is where it come back to privilege in a way. Yeah. And it is like it's a disadvantage.
You know,
but you can use it to your advantage. Like if I tick this box that I'm black and I'm bisexual and I'm going to work in an environment where there's no black people, more than likely I'll get the job. Yeah. Because they need me to show their equality demographics. True. And it's not right.
It's not right, is it? And that's where it comes down to like a systematic thing again, doesn't it? You know, corporate businesses or establishments that are employing people, like the morality of having equality in the establishment should just be, it should be there anyway. They shouldn't have to have like a letter come through like, oh, so today we have done some statistics and actually you need to start employing more Asian people, more black women, more black men.
I love how you say it like some 90.
Yeah, I know, I feel like I'm on an old 90s show. But you get what I mean? Yeah. It should already be in place anyway. But again, we're in this era now.
It's the history of suppression though, isn't it?
It is, and 2020, good year. I think slowly, hopefully, these are going to be things that are going to be talked about.
With women like yourselves, it will. There is going to be. If we have more women like that, then we don't have to worry. But if we have females and males, non-binary, however you label, labels, but how you label yourself, if you're not going to contribute in a positive way in society, then we're just going to stay as we are. We're not going to end up progressing.
I'm curious to see what the world's gonna be like in 20 years.
You don't
when like when our age of people are like older, and then when the kids of like the little ones now are grown up, because they're gonna be raised by our people with our mindset. So the tradition should have changed and it should have filtered out. What is it gonna be? Because with social media, we didn't have social media growing up. Like the media, how they are, we didn't have all these factors. So it is gonna be interesting to see what the young females.
My dad said a funny thing. He said, your generation is the last generation of common sense.
No, but yeah, I get
that. So he goes, I don't know what the world's going to look like when you grow up and you have your kids. Goes, but to me, you've had generations that have gone through war, that have passed on their hardships and their ethos or how they feel onto the next kid. And now people haven't really had to deal with that as much, that kind of thing. But yeah, I don't know how you feel. This is
why I think like the time we're in now is really important. You mentioned Brexit earlier. Things are going to change inevitably now, and I don't know about you guys, but for me, I feel really uncertain about what's happening, and I think that can cause a lot of anxiety. I think it can cause a lot of...
That's so true. I would explain a lot of people felt like that recently.
It is, and I think that fear of not knowing what's going to happen, it's going to make people feel angry. It's going to make people feel sad. People are going to feel separated. Yeah. The more we label people and put people into categories, it's going to be even more separated. And, you know, and I think in a time like this, what really needs to happen, what I want out of 2020 is people to come together, people to work together, think together, be innovative. And, you know, if the government can't do it for us,
we'll bloody do it ourselves.
But this is the beauty of social media, which
if
I know the government.
If
the government can't stand it, because anybody has a power of influence here. Yeah. If you upload something and then you share it enough, the whole world's gonna see.
That's why journalists start off as much, because they can just source it from.
You can't control social media. You can't control people posts.
You can try.
They try to. They try and censor things, don't they?
Or fake news and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, if you want to make a change and you're just at home in your bedroom, you have the potential to make a change now. You have it. We
Yeah.
have that platform.
That leads on to the last question before we play the game.
Ooh.
So, do you feel like we have to break the rules in order, as women, to make change happen?
Yes. Full stop. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
We've had to, haven't we? We've had to think about strikes. They've had to leave work in order to create that change.
And I think our systems around us currently are failing.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't think we're in a time where we need to be abiding by rules. It's where we need to break them to make new and to think differently.
Well, nothing just changes it unless someone makes that big kind of gesture or something. No one takes notice.
There's a, you know, Greta Thunberg, the young girl that's promoting and fighting against this climate crisis. She does she's done speeches all over the place, but there's one particular line that stuck in my head, and she said it's time for civil disobedience. Ooh. And I was like, wow, that's so fucking powerful. And she's a child and she's aware and knows that that's got to happen because
hairs on my arms stood up when you said that.
Civil disobedience, and that's you know.
And who's the one who was shot in the head just for having an education?
Oh, yeah.
That's going to irritate me. I'm disgusted. I will put a tag next to my head going, Liz, disappointed in yourself.
I can't think of her name, but I know the girl you mean.
No, it's not. I even put her name down on it. But
what happened?
All she wanted was an education, and they ended up, was it Taliban?
She was doing a public speech in Pakistan, and she was shot.
Wow.
Just for
by
expressing how she felt.
Because they obviously saw her as a threat. Her way of thinking was really progressive. She wanted young girls to be able to have the same education rights as men. And they shot her in the face. She survived. She survived. And she's still fucking fighting.
Good on her.
And now those two.
We need to find out her name.
Those two are linking up now.
Really? Oh yeah, they're working together. Greta.
Are they?
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, I love that.
And they're young. They're young, man.
Right, I'm sure.
This gives me hope. You know how we're saying how the world's going to look in a few years, 20 years from now. If we're thinking like this in our 20s, how are they going to be thinking in their 20s?
But then this is where it could come to it could go completely over the top, where it comes to civil rights all over again. Yeah. And then people are fighting, and then the police are just being brutal and just.
That is the scary aspect that could happen.
Yeah,
and it's Malula Yusuf. It was something like that. Was it? Gone.
But sometimes that has to happen.
Yeah, I agree.
And I don't condone violence or anything like that. I don't. But sometimes when you're speaking and your words isn't being heard and being taken on, people can hear. Doesn't mean say they're listening. I always say that you can hear. Doesn't mean say you're listening. We hear. Yeah, okay.
You actually
down, and then they just throw it in the.
It's how are you today?
Yeah,
you're not listening to how I am.
Yeah.
But I feel like if I don't want to seem like I keep coming for the government, but no, but they make a lot of the decisions.
No, they do.
I mean, they write
Brexit.
If anything, we want to be coming for the government.
But if they don't make change soon, I could see a potential war striking out. I really could. You know what? With the climate change, with rights as not even they say. To be honest, I feel like we need to be blessed for how we're living in England compared to other places, even in America compared to in America. It's ridiculous over there. I feel like right now, if I would like to live anywhere in the world, I probably would say England. I feel like it's the safest place to be.
That's why I asked that question about people taking for granted what we have, the opportunities we have, because some girls don't have education.
But it's being in this privileged position with our ways of thinking that if we can do something here, we need to do something elsewhere. And, social media is a great source for that. We can't necessarily fund ourselves to get to these places, to talk to people, to make artwork with different people, to promote these different things. But it's just about having a voice and acknowledging them. I think that's really important. Acknowledging these places that aren't getting any sort of help or any sort of fucking rights, basic human rights.
It's true.
Yeah.
Which is ridiculous. But you know what, girls? I'm going to play a game now.
Let's play a game.
That's what we're going to play.
Lift the mood a little. We're all very serious and demographic.
Yeah. It's time for a game.
Yay!
So in this game, these glasses just haven't appeared from nowhere at all. But yeah, in this game, so it's another nice game of Guess Who. Well, first I'm playing it on here. But we have two each and we have to guess. So I've done Chandel's and Caitlin's, and Caitlin's done mine.
This sounds very good.
It's really intense, isn't it? Okay,
right.
so.
Okay, I was about to be like, first question, am I female?
Yes. That's
okay. I'm so annoyed. Oh, damn it.
Shot.
Woo!
Oh,
Shut. I should have that on air, don't I? Everybody. Lovely.
Hey.
Like little injustice. Like you're. It doesn't matter what the power is of the person.
No.
That doesn't mean you can abuse the situation just because of the level that you're at. You'll speak up about it.
I've come to realise you don't have to be, and this is a message, I'm looking at the camera when I say it,
Yeah.
you don't have to be in a position of power to have power.
yeah.
People think you have to be up there and have all these roles and responsibilities to do something. No, you haven't. All you're going to need to have is a voice
Yeah.
and speak out, but knowing how to talk. So many people talk wrong when you talk aggressively. If you, you're going to go on deaf ears. Yes,
You have to
context.
speak clearly.
Quite posh.
I watched it a very long time.
Okay.
I was in the start. I'm like, I'm good at this, and now I'm just terrible. Should I just drink? Can I drink before I find it out?
Yeah,
Or-
shot.
Shut.
Everybody. I can't afford theme songs anymore. I've got to just say.
You should just sing your own theme songs
Imagine.
in between from now on.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah.
Welcome to a game where it's called Guess Who Won?